What's going on, guys? It's your boy Chris here. I'm going to make this video real short and real simple. There have been a couple of incidences this week that we need to talk about. The first incident being the subway, the Jordan Neely situation on the subway in New York. I'm going to lay this out as simply as possible. The fact that the man who had him in the chokehold was not charged with murder is bullshit. I'm going to explain why right now. As a former Marine, he has been trained in self-defense, hand-to-hand combat. Applying a chokehold to someone, you are putting their life at risk no matter how long you really have it on. As someone who studied martial arts since I was 12 years old, I'm going to lay this out as simply as I can. A rear naked choke, which is what he used on to subdue and eventually kill Jordan Neely, usually the safe point between when someone's like, you run the risk of killing somebody, is technically 4 minutes. I normally, if I've ever applied one to somebody, it's been 3 minutes. One of the first things I was taught in martial arts when I started learning was, if you don't feel comfortable doing something, don't fucking do it. If you don't know how to do something, don't fucking do it. The reason my teacher taught me these things was very simple. One, you don't want to hurt someone you're training with. Two, you don't want to hurt someone on the street if you're in a situation where you have to use what you're being taught. If you don't feel comfortable doing something or can't do it properly, you're not supposed to do it. As a former Marine, this gentleman that applied this hold knew exactly what he was doing. He knew how dangerous this move was. He knew how long he should have kept it on because they have training. He did not follow that, and by that alone, what he did was murder. The people who helped hold Neely down are guilty of accessory to murder. The fact that he was not charged is insane. He held him in a chokehold for 15 minutes, and now we have video of someone saying to him, hey man, let him go. It's over, it's done, and he didn't do it. That is homicide. The medical examiner has even ruled it a homicide. So this individual, whose name I will not use because I don't want to give him the publicity, can take his legal statement that his lawyers put out and shove it up his ass. What you did, sir, was murder. You should be charged with murder. The other individuals who held Jordan Neely down with you should be charged with accessory to murder, or at the very least manslaughter for those individuals. But you should be charged with murder because you were trained to know better and you didn't follow that training. So that's the first thing I want to get out. The second thing I want to get out is I want to address this whole, the incident down in Texas. Obviously, what happened is fucking horrific. There's video going around showing the aftermath of it. I haven't seen it. I saw one photo of it and it made me sick to my stomach. The statement by one of the first responders is what really hit me hard. He said he came up to a little girl who was holding her head, and he went to check her for a pulse and moved her, and his direct quote was, she had no face. It is time. It has been well past time for us to address our gun laws in this country. Everybody gets mad when you bring it up. We can't talk about this right now. No, we need to fucking talk about it right fucking now, and it needs to be fucking addressed. And any politician that isn't willing to address it needs to step the fuck down so people with the courage to do something about it will. Enough. When is it going to be enough? Like, I'm in the middle of a debate, quote unquote, with the Second Amendment dumbass on Twitter. And right now. And he's bringing up all these scenarios. And the big one everybody brings up is, well, what if there's an active shooter and you're in a permitting arm and like concealed carry state and you've got your gun on you? You could stop that shooter. Okay. You could stop that shooter. Absolutely, you could stop him. If they've got theirs out already and you don't, you're not going to stop him. You're probably going to get fucking shot and killed. But there's another scenario that no one really likes to talk about that I'm going to bring up to you. Because I'm coming at this from the perspective of someone who has family who's been in law enforcement. When the cops arrive to that scene, if you've got your gun out, how the fuck do they know who you are? Do they know you're not the shooter? Probably not. Are they going to waste time trying to figure out who the fuck you are? No. So what's going to happen? You're going to get fucking shot and probably killed. Because in an active shooter situation, the police are not looking to like figure out, oh, that's a good guy with the gun. We got to let him go. No, they're not worried about that. They're worried about there's a guy with a gun walking around the fucking Walmart or a fucking Target or a fucking grocery store. We got to stop the motherfucker before he kills somebody. We don't know who the fuck you are, so you catch a hot one. So would anybody in the store with a gun out because they don't know who the fuck's who. You're gonna get killed. Okay? Now, as far as the Second Amendment goes, all you shall not be infringe people, you're forgetting something very important. Well regulated. That part's there too. Well regulated. The other part is Article 1, where the government actually hands out the weapons to the militias. You don't form your own militias. The government does that. They handle the guns, they discipline the militias, they do all of that themselves. The government handles the militia part. It's not up to a bunch of dumbasses dressing in camo by themselves on a weekend trip in fucking, like, the woods. You're not technically the militia. But do you know who is technically our militia now? The Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines. So if you want to be part of a well-regulated militia, join the fucking military. Step up and serve the country. Because that's what it's supposed to be. That's what it's about. If the founding fathers saw what the fuck was happening right now, they'd be fucking furious. They'd be like, what the fuck? Did you misinterpreted everything we wrote here? Did you read the fucking thing? Did you read the Constitution? Did you read any of the amendments? Oh no, you picked and choose and focused on the one part to fit your bullshit. Much like people do with the Bible, which I'm not even going to get into that right now, because that's a whole nother fucking debate. Like, you're nitpicking, cherry picking parts that fit your narrative, and not the parts that don't fit your narrative, so you can have your bullshit. But according to the actual Constitution and the amendment, based on how it's written, all of that stuff about the Second Amendment is based on the government establishing the militias, which are no longer needed now because we have an established army. armed forces. The militias were set up in the old days because we didn't have a military force. We didn't have the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Army. We didn't have them then, but we do now. So we don't need militias. And the whole idea of a whole tyrannical government, you really think a bunch of weekend warriors are going to stop like the government, are going to fight the government? Like, really? Y'all think y'all have a chance in hell against the military? Really? They have better weapons than you. They can drop a drone strike on you from like 50 miles away. Like, you're not gonna save that bullshit for somebody else because it ain't flying here. You're gonna get your asses killed trying to be what something you're not. Go home, be with your family, stop being fucking stupid. Is my advice to any of you militia people, because it's not where it doesn't fly, man. You're not winning that one. Also note, if you're walking into a Starbucks with an assault rifle on your back to get a latte, you're a dick. Okay? You're a fucking dick. There's nothing else to be said. There's no argument to be made. You're a fucking dickhead. What are you gonna do if they make your drink wrong? Shoot the barista? Like, fuck you. You're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot. You're overcompensating for like little dick complex and nobody has time for your bullshit. Fuck off with that. Like, you're scaring little kids in the Starbucks. You're scaring families in the Starbucks. And for what? I can carry it wherever the fuck I want. Okay, but it doesn't mean you should. Sure, the gun laws in your state allow you to carry an AR-15 into a Starbucks to get your latte, but maybe think about someone other than yourself, you selfish prick. Maybe think about the other people in the store who are scared that you're going to shoot them. Maybe think about the people that are worried about their well-being of their kids that are in the Starbucks. They don't know you, asshole. They don't know you. They don't know what your fucking intent is. All they see is some douchebag with a gun on their back. They don't know whether they're safe. They don't know what your intent is. You're scaring people for nothing. And for what? To overcompensate for your own insecurities. That's all it is. And that's all there ever is. You're not securing yourself, so to make yourself feel like you're some big ass person, you're walking around with a fucking gun because your dick's too small. And that's what it is. That's as simple as it gets. You're overcompensating. You're scared someone's going to do something when no one gives a fuck about you. No one cares about you. No one gives a shit enough about you to do something to you. And if they do, you probably did something to bring it on yourself. Because of how you are. You're walking around with a gun. You're walking around with a fucking AR-15 on your back into a fucking grocery store. What the fuck are people supposed to think about you? They probably think you're a piece of shit. So yeah, it starts stuff. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, we have to be better than this. Like, it's as a society. Like, this shit has to fucking stop. It has to fucking stop. I don't know what the steps are to... I know what the steps are, but no one will fucking do it because everybody's scared to piss off somebody. I'm past the point where I give a shit. I know my comments on this video are going to blow the fuck up, and people are going to lose their minds on me, and they're going to be like, oh, you're some pussy liberal. I'm liberal. I make no bones about that. My dad was a militant liberal. My mom was a more traditional liberal. I'm more on the progressive side of liberalism. I make no bones about where I stand politically. I don't give a fuck if you like it or not. I speak my mind because I fucking can. I ain't scared. What you gonna do? Fight me over it? Okay. You wanna throw hands over it? That's cool. You can swing on me. You're gonna regret it if you do, but you can. Want to come in the comments and call me names, call me a pussy, whatever? You can do that too. I don't care. I'll just roast your ass and keep it moving. I do it all the time on Twitter. I'm not afraid to do it here on YouTube. I don't give a fuck. And if this video gets pulled, they can pull it too. I don't care. But I'll be goddamned if I'm going to sit back and keep watching this happening. It's been every fucking day with these guns, man. Every fucking day there's a mass shooting. Every fucking day. Every day it seems like there's been one. And no one, it's getting to the point where people are numb to it. Like, it's fucking Monday, another shooting. That's not how we should be living our fucking lives. It's time for our politicians to do something about it. And if the ones that are in office are not willing to do something, then it's time for them to get the fuck out of the way for politicians or people who want to do something about it. Because like me, they're sick of this shit happening. I'm sick of getting emails from my kid's school, my stepson's school, about a fucking incident with a fucking gun outside the school, and he can't come home on time. I'm sick of worrying about my godchildren or my nephew. I'm sick of worrying about my mom and where she lives at, because it's not the best neighborhood anymore. I'm sick of worrying about, like, my family. I'm fucking sick of it. And a lot of people are where I'm at right now. The difference is I'm willing to put my name on it and to say it. On any issue. Be it social commentary or whatever, social justice, this gun violence, I'm willing to say what nobody wants to say or is too afraid to say because of what other people are going to say to them. Too many people died for me to have the right to say what I'm saying right now. So, if you want to bring it to me, bring it. If you're smart, you'll keep it to just words. Because if you show up at my door, I'm going to put you through the concrete outside. Please believe that. I don't play with the doxing thing or the swatting stuff. You do that to me and I find you, I'll come looking for you. Like, I don't play that. So if you want to just keep it words, that's a smart move. If you want to take it beyond that, that's a not smart move. Like I said, I'm tired of this, man. I'm tired of this shit happening. It's been too many of these have happened over too short a time. It's May. And how many of these mass shootings have we had just this year? Since January, how many have we had? We need to do something about this. As a society, we got to step up and do something because this has gone on too long, man. And it's a problem. And it needs to be addressed. And we have to have the courage to have the conversation. We have to have the balls to have the conversation that everybody's afraid to have about it. Because after every one of these, oh, it's not the time to talk about it. And then it goes away. But it's never talked about. When are we going to finally talk about it? And I don't mean just having the press for a couple days. I mean, really, as our lawmakers, as people, we pull our lawmakers up and make them have the conversation. They work for us. God damn it. They work for us. They don't work for the special interest groups. They work for the people. We're the people. They work for us. And the last time I checked, a majority of us want this shit addressed. We want gun law reform. So we need to be on their asses until they do what we want. Because they work for us. It's time. Sandy Hook, Columbine should have been when it got addressed. Sandy Hook definitely should have been when it got addressed. It wasn't. Parkland should have been where it got addressed. Those kids that marched and held that rally showed more courage and conviction than any politician we've had in office in my fucking lifetime. Any. They had the guts to stand up and do something, or at least try to do something. Whereas all these politicians, be it the presidents we've had the past in my lifetime, or the politicians that run Congress, or the Senate, or the Supreme Court, all of them have shown no courage like those Parkland kids did. None. They open themselves to get ridiculed and attacked. Some of them have been attacked. David Hogg got kicked by Marjorie Taylor Greene. He got stalked by that woman. Fred Guttenberg has been lied to his face from people like Ted Cruz. All these politicians say we're going to do something, and then they don't do anything, and shit goes on like it always does until the next one happens, and then the next one happens, and then the next one happens, and then the next one happens. This has to stop. It has to stop. I didn't even want to do a serious fucking video today. I wanted to talk about the WWE show last night. But this stuff has been on my mind since I saw that photo last night of the aftermath of that shooting at that Dallas mall, that Texas mall. Like, seeing a little girl on the ground, lifeless, seeing those people piled up before they put the tarp over them, lifeless, like, it's just, nah, man. Nothing's more important than that. Nothing's more important than addressing that right now. So as much as I enjoyed this show last night, and I did, it was one of the most fun events I've ever seen in a long time. Like, they should do more shows in Puerto Rico. It was you could tell the atmosphere was great. The crowd was into it the entire time. Like, it was a good show. It was fun. The matches were good. So I mean, I don't know what else to say. We got to do something. We got to change as a society. We have to change as people. We can't become so cold and callous to, like, someone being murdered on a train by being choked to death, or a bunch of people killed at a mall, or a bunch of people killed in a store, or a bunch of people killed. We can't become calloused to these things because it's not normal. It shouldn't be an everyday thing that we just shrug off and go about our lives. It can't be. It can't be. We have to be better than this as society, or we're fucking done, man. And the optimist in me believes that we're better than this, but I don't know anymore. I don't know. I want to think we are. I want to believe we are, but I don't know anymore. Anyway, that's all I've got. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Peace.